Recently, someone asked me, how does one cultivate insight? So I thought I'd start out my YouTube channel with a few quick thoughts on the subject. I think that to become a more original thinker, what you have to do is write a lot, and you want to work through problems on your own. If you just read a lot, that's fine, and you do learn things, but what it does is it just traces the line of thinking of somebody else's mind, and it doesn't really help you learn, how to be an original thinker or to express yourself in a unique way, or it doesn't give you practice in discerning what's really essential about what kind of thing you're writing about, or thinking about. So what you would need to do is to be able to cast and recast your viewpoint on things, your perspective in your own words, your own form of expression, and practice that kind of discernment. Because if you consistently have to decide which parts are most relevant, this is how, and then so this is how you come to unique insights, right? Because by having to do it yourself, every person's different and has a different perspective, and so you can bring that to the forefront that way. This also helps you understand where somebody else might be coming from, and understand their motives and why they may have thought about something a certain way or written a thing a certain way. So thinking on your own is a good way to cultivate insight. I try to make sure that I don't just read a lot, although I do think reading a lot and reading indiscriminately is really important. But you want to really concentrate on writing and writing and writing. You can't just magic up wisdom by parroting what other people have said, or by leaning on sloganeering. Wisdom comes from honest reflection, and you can fool people about that sometimes, but in the long run, people know the difference. Charlatans and sycophants are everywhere, but in the long run, usually people get found out, and your work, if you actually want to produce work or be a writer or a thinker, then it's not going to last. The stuff that lasts for the ages tends to be of high quality, even if it takes a few centuries for people to appreciate it. So another part of this is not worrying about perfectionism or comparing yourself to other people. You're not going to get anywhere by doing that, because you're not going to be thinking about the thing you're actually thinking about. You're going to be distracted. It defeats the purpose of writing and thinking on your own if you're going to do that. So, the important thing about learning any skill, including just trying to find insights into the way things work, or come up with your own unique thoughts about things, it's practice. You write, think. Spend long times going on walks. Don't listen to music. Don't put anything on. Just walk and think about a subject. And as soon as you get off track, push your mind back on track. If you don't do that, and you're always concentrating on what other people are saying, you're going to say things to just go along, to get along. This pressure of reputation and situating yourself in a paradigm, or however you want to put it, it leads people to paralysis, or a tendency to only say things of which everyone approves, it's just not helpful, because if it's already being said, why do you need to say it? I mean, you can just share it or copy it or whatever. My goal with this YouTube channel and myself is to try to do this even more myself than I already do. The main point of all this is to kind of feed a mental life and enrich it and make it flourish, which is not something it's not. Plants don't just, gardens grow, but you have to weed the garden and everything. So it makes sense to produce your writing without regard to anything else that's going on in your life. Like all productive and pleasurable activities, it serves a purpose, and it's something worth doing for its own sake. I mean, it's fun to sit down and write and think about things. At least it is for me. And if it's not at first, it becomes more comfortable as you get used to doing it and practice it. So it's just another good habit. Journaling, doing exercises, asking yourself a question that you don't know anything about, and forcing yourself to do the research or think about it on your own. It creates a positive feedback loop, and it's a good habit that reinforces other good habits that you have. So I think I want to pledge right now that I'm never again going to care too much about public opinion or trying to, become famous or something like that as a writer or anything. I don't want to be the kind of person that wears their ideas like their clothes, trying to be fashionable or something like that, or just saying whatever I think people want to hear, which I've never been much for that anyway, but I think I want to be more self-conscious about that, whatever that costs me in social capital or actual capital. I also want to regard myself as always in process. Your views are going to change. My views have over the years many times, and that's just going to happen. And I think with more and more self-discipline and practice, I will, and anyone can, you will, cultivate insight. So, anyway, I guess that's all I've got on that. Thanks for watching, and I'll be posting some more videos very soon.